Yeah.
Power surge detected inside Ibarian Temple.
That coward must be hiding inside the temple.
Alright, it's time for the final full frontal assault on Zurgo's base. This time Zurgo's the one playing tower defense, and he's really bad at it. But anyway, this level is much different than the previous ones because there are no tower defense mechanics in play. We just have to go wreck Zurgo's shit and destroy a bunch of enemies along the way. So yeah, it's linear, it's pretty fun. The boss fight at the end is nice. We're not there yet though, we gotta destroy a lot of basic enemies first. This level's pretty short, all things considered, but I think that's fine. Because the rest of the levels are so damn long. Trying to use the weapon pod. You might notice the further we get into the game, the more damage the enemies are dealing, the harder they are to kill, and the more bullets they shoot. That last one is pretty important. But anyway, this level isn't too bad on the whole. It's pretty easy. Unless you stand still and get shot like I just did. To be perfectly honest, I mostly remember this final level for the boss fight at the end and not so much for the level leading up to it. I understand why they wanted to have a level leading up to the final boss, you know. They wanted you to get the weapon pods, they wanted you to have one last showdown with all the different enemy types. And I think that's fine, the level leading up to the final boss is okay. There's nothing really wrong with it. The third person shooting is still satisfying. All the fun stuff about the platforming and shooting is here. It's just you're like, man, I want to fight Zurgo already, so I can kick his ass. You know, I wanted to record this game some time ago. I wanted to record it for a long time, but I was always worried I wouldn't have enough to say. And I guess to some degree that's true because the levels are very long. And I don't think the design is bad or anything, but sometimes the design doesn't have enough to talk about. Even if the design is alright. There are a lot of very simple games that are hard to talk about, even if their design is good, because there's just not a lot of it. And I do think this game is good, if I haven't made that clear already. I do think this game is quite good, and I really enjoy it. Anyway, at this part of the level we're given 5 minutes to disarm a bomb, otherwise the mission fails. This is basically just giving the level a time limit. It's no big deal. We definitely have more than enough time. 5 minutes is a long-ass time for this level. Someone in my comments mentioned a couple of videos ago that this game's missing a lot of the big boss fights from previous Ratchet games. And that's true. I can't deny that, but also I think most of the Ratchet and Clank boss fights kind of suck majorly. They're really simple, and you strafe around them and jump and shoot a lot. And I don't think they're so good. The presentation on the boss fights is good, and I love the Ratchet Deadlocked boss fights, but a lot of the boss fights in Ratchet and Clank games aren't so well designed, and even a lot of the boss fights in the new Spider-Man game are pretty poorly designed. Ratchet Deadlocked does stick to the strafing around enemies and jumping and shooting stuff, but it manages to make it a lot more engaging by, you know, making it so you have to actually pay fucking attention to what you're doing. There's nothing like wrong with the gameplay style of strafing around enemies and shooting at them, as long as you make the enemies fun to fight and make their attacks engaging enough that you have to pay attention to avoid them. Which Ratchet Deadlock does adequately, and a lot of other Ratchet & Clank games totally suck at. The boss fights have never been a highlight of the Ratchet & Clank games for me outside of Deadlocked. The series has some really cool bosses in other games here and there. All of the bosses are pretty cool from a presentational standpoint. But, you know, I'd just say on the average, the bosses in Ratchet & Clank are really dull, design-wise, and they're not all that fun to fight. Speaking of bosses, the final boss of this game is also really, really easy to fight. But it also has really, really good presentation, like most bosses in Ratchet & Clank. Something I particularly like about the final boss in this game, though, is the way you hop around it using boost pads, and the fact that Zurgo criticizes, or talks about at least, every weapon you use against him. It fits really well with his character. It adds a nice spin to the boss battle dialogue that I haven't seen in previous Ratchet games. So yeah, even though he's not super hard, especially if you have the Groovatron, I think he's fun to fight, has a lot of personality, and the arena you fight him in is also really entertaining. So it's pretty chill. I guess that's how I describe this game as a whole, is pretty chill. It's a pretty chill video game. It's really easy to relax with. I keep playing it over and over because it is easy to relax with, and I think exploring the levels is fun. You know, I don't know if it's a super casual game, but it's more casual than, you know, your average Ratchet and Clank game, I guess. Unless you count, like, the new 2016 reboot game, that one's definitely more casual than this. Sure, you'll die a couple of times because there are a couple areas that are kind of difficult. Like the train area in Kirwan, for some reason, is really difficult in particular for me. But, you know, you respawn at a really close checkpoint, and toward the late game, your weapons are so overpowered that you just nuke entire rooms in like a couple seconds. The gameplay in the 2016 reboot isn't bad. It's a more Ratchet and Clank. You know, if that's what you want, it's more of the same. They have a new upgrade system that's cute, I guess. I don't notice it too much, but the new upgrade system is nice, I guess. It's satisfying to 100% upgrade your weapons. It's more Ratchet and Clank shooting. It's still depressing to play for me because of the story. If the story weren't there, you know, it wouldn't be nearly as hard for me to play. Anyway, I'm not actually going to talk over the final boss battle to preserve the drama and humor, and also because I don't really have anything to say about the final boss battle that isn't obvious or I haven't already said. Anyway, hey look, we disarmed the bomb.
Detonator disarmed.
You think you're so smart, don't you?
Ladies and gentlemen, all the way from the Solana Galaxy, the greatest criminal mastermind slash blogger ever to exist, Stuart Durgo!
Pretty cool, huh? Yeah, I built this bad boy back when I was gullible enough to idolize you. How fitting that it should be used to vanquish you.
Stuart, where are you? Your macaroni and cheese is getting cold.
Mom! I'm in the middle of something! Sheesh! As I was saying, it's time to die. Begin extreme fighting music! When you're dead, I'll be a hero to everyone you've ever failed! Maybe I'll get my own fan club! Not again! Come on, stupid blaster! Engaging shields like a boss! I spared no expense on this, baby! Veritanium hull, Gadgetron energy shield, Omega Tech vision blaster! Everything I need to turn a hero to hamburger meat!
Have to do something about those shields.
That first attack was in mint condition. Do you know how many lawns I had to mow for that? You can't get to me! I'm unstoppable! I cannot be stopped!
Ammo. Stuff to kill stuff with.
Ooh, a doppelganger! Maybe you're not a complete moron after all. Have you looked around the temple? I think you'll be surprised to find 24 blocks of pyrocytic demo charges. I stole them from the thugs for that outcome. This whole place is wired to blow. Diabolical fish! That's rich. You think you can eat? This whole place will crumble, just like your pathetic career. Don't worry about me, though. This raritanium hull can withstand the Class 3 meteor shower. You're more resilient than I expected. Get ready to eat plasma rocket!
This temple can't take much more of this.
I'm gonna be a hero. I'm gonna be a hero. It's going to be so much fun watching you die. Oh, this is delicious. It's not every day you get to kill him. And kill him.
Free ammo.
It doesn't make any sense. How can someone so dim-witted keep winning? What are you?
I'm the guy who doesn't live in his mother's basement. You guys tired? I heard about a gang of mutant space ninjas over in the Corvus sector.
Perhaps we should get Mr. Zergo over to the authorities first.
And clear your name.
Oh, yeah, right. Can I at least get a woe Q-Force then?
Nope,
Just one.
can't do it.
Ratchet?
Eh? Oh, what the heck. I guess you earned it. 1, 2, 3. Whoa! Q-Force!
Yeah, we probably should have practiced that.
Man, I had to. Bad news, the fat dude with tattoos. Johnny Cash, black tee and black shoes. Man in black, he sings and he raps too. From down south, but now it ain't 2 Chainz. New thing, I'm the rap game Bruce Wayne. On Hollywood Boulevard, and they like, who's he? They claiming that we used to kick it like Bruce Lee. I said,